O Diyos aming Ama, ang lahat ng nilalang ay marapat na sumamba sa iyo. Higit sa iyong mga biyaya, sinasamba ka namin dahil ikaw ay ikaw. Lumalapit kami sa iyo, dakilang tagapaglikha, nagsusumamo at humihingi ng kapatawaran. Kami ay nagkulang at nagkasala. Patawarin mo kami sa katigasan ng aming mga puso. Turuan mo kami at dalhin sa inyong kalooban. Tingnan mo kami ng may awa at kahabagan. Hilumin mo po ang aming bayan, ang aming mga mahal sa buhay, kaibigan, kapitbahay, karatigbayan, ganon din ang aming mga kaaway sa pandemyang kinahaharap namin sa COVID-19. Isama niyo na rin ang mga may sakit sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Panginoon, balutin mo kami ng inyong kaluwalhatian. Itago mo kami sa lilim ng inyong mga pakpak laban sa anumang kapahamakan o wala sa oras na kamatayan. Kristo, ang tinapay ng buhay, alalahanin niyo po ang mga namumuno sa aming bansa, ang mga ilaw at haligi ng bawat tahanan, at mga kawani na nagtatanggol sa aming seguridad at mga frontliners. Batid mo, Panginoon, ang mga dinaraanan at bawat ganap sa aming buhay. Espiritong Banal, aming tanggulan at gabay, imulat ang aming mga mata at ipakita si Jesus ang Panginoon at tagapagligtas, ang nag-iisang katotohanan at tanging daan tungo sa Ama. Wala nang iba. Purihin ka, O aming Diyos. Ang presensya mo ay tunay na biyaya ng aming buhay. Ito ang aming samot panalangin sa pangalan ni Jesus, Kordero ng Diyos na nag-aalis ng kasalanan ng mundo. Amen.
Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kanta at programang Tatak Pinoy. Napapanood at napapakinggan kahit saan ka man. Streaming worldwide. In South Manila, this is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin. Kayo. V81 Radio.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station. Here now is the program for the millennials that will showcase young professionals' worth, aspirations, and successes in doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erika Mison, together with her fellow millennials, they will be making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.
Good afternoon, everyone. You are now tuned in to Making a Difference. So this is a show created to inspire and to motivate the youth of today. My name is Erika Mison, and I am your host and online friend. All right, so last week, I interviewed the presidents of the SK Federation of Pasay City, Muntinlupa City, Taguig, and Makati. So if you want to know more about what they do as SK Federation presidents or what is the SK Federation, feel free to check out that episode after this live. We still have it on the Facebook page, that's Making a Difference, and we also have it on V81 Radio's YouTube channel. So if you're interested, feel free to check that out later. All right, so we're all going through the same thing nowadays. We're all trying to adapt to the new normal. So some of us, just like me, work from home now. Some of us, also like me, aren't really, don't really want to go out of the house if it's not needed. And of course, we have the students. All of the students are trying to adjust, including the teachers actually, to the whole education system now. A lot, actually most of the schools, if not all, have to go online. And there are some parents who are actually considering homeschooling their kids. What is homeschool? Well, basically, it's school at home. That's it. But I'm very, very sure you're all wondering, what's it like being homeschooled? That's why I invited 4 guests today who were previously homeschooled. So they're going to be talking about their experiences being homeschooled, what's it like transitioning to a regular school, and how it has helped them with what they're doing today. So for our first guest, I have Stephanie Santiago. She's actually a professional dancer. May I call on Steffi to the screen, please? So she is actually the youngest guest that I'll be having today, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so she is a professional dancer. That's Stephanie Santiago. I think we're still trying to get her on screen. Okay, there we go. There.
Hi.
Hi, Steffi. Okay. Is it okay if I call you Stephanie or do you want me to call you just Steffi?
Steffi na lang.
Yun na lang. Okay, all right. All right, so Steffi, all right. So you're how old, by the way? I forgot. You're 20. Okay, so you're right. You're my sister's batch. All right.
Yeah.
So tell us something about yourself.
Well, I have an older sister. I am the bunso in the family. Fun fact. So yes, I'm a professional dancer. But in 2018, I graduated my formal dance training and dance education at the Joffrey Academy of Dance in Chicago, Illinois, USA. And I performed with Ballet Philippines during the 49th and 50th season under the direction of our national artist, Alice Reyes. But I am currently part of a project with the Cultural Center of the Philippines. I am one of the members of the faculty of the CCP Dance Workshop, providing dance classes and lectures through CCP under the Arts Education Department.
Okay. So is that still ongoing despite BCQ?
Yeah, the CCP Dance Workshop, yes, it's still ongoing. That's what I'm doing right now during the COVID.
Okay, so how does that work, if I may ask?
So we give classes. We give different types of dance classes from ballet, modern, hip hop, jazz, and we have our setup is like we have a teacher and a demonstrator. But of course, we're also following the protocols of the GCQ or whatever of the COVID protocols. We are following that naman. So para everyone is safe and healthy. Thus, I'm one of the demonstrators I do the ballet classes.
Oh, cute. Did you always want to be a professional dancer?
Actually, I want before I started doing before I did my first dance class, I've always wanted to be a parang a vet kasi I had like a super love for animals. Pero I didn't understand what vets do right now. Pero high respect to the vets kasi it's so hard. I thought lang like parang you just get to be with animals and just pet them and play with them. That's how I understood it. Pero during I think I was around mga 11 years old when I realized na, oh, I really want to do this. So I did my research. Can you be a ballet dancer and earn? And then it popped up and said yes because there are so many professional dancers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be a job pala. So around 11, I decided na, sige, push ko ito. I want to be a professional ballet dancer.
Okay, so when did you start dancing?
I was 5, turning 6 ata.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but that's great. And you didn't stop ever since.
Yeah, I didn't stop. From 5, I was all the way until now.
Amazing. Yes. I bet you're like very, very flexible now. Very sure of that. I mean, you're still young. Okay.
I have to work hard for that.
Okay. So, were you homeschooled your whole life, or was there like a certain portion that you needed to be homeschooled? What
Ano,
was your life? Yeah.
I was in traditional school from preschool to the 6th grade.
Okay.
Tas during that time, I was only taking ballet as a like parang side, like it was a extracurricular or like I like because I like doing it.
Mm.
So around like I said kanina, 11 at 11, I wanted to make it as a job. Like parang this is my dream. Pero at the age of 12, that's when I started competing locally and internationally. And because of that, I had little to no time for my schoolwork. And my dad hours were eating up my time for school. So, and what's this in my family, sobrang big time or but big deal na honor student ka. Tas during when I was in grade 6, I had a hard time trying to become an honor student. I was naman, pero it was harder kasi wala na akong oras. So my teacher recommended me na lang to do homeschool so I can have time for dance and also for dance. And so I did it naman, pero it was a super big change for me.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about that big change. Yeah. So you were in regular school for, well, your whole elementary life, and then you had to transition to homeschool. Yeah, high school. So how was the transition like for you? Were you okay, or parang naninibago ka ba nun? What do you remember?
Well, I remember my first 2 years of being homeschooled. It was not fun at all. It was hard. Kasi I was not used to the whole setup. I'm used to na lagi ako with my classmates, with my friends. But I'm not used to like the setup of being at home. It's so relaxed and so comfortable. Like, I remember like my first 2 years, I would always fall asleep during my classes with my tutor. Like one time na I was sitting down, plus I fell asleep. I didn't know kasi when I was dreaming na I was in a class. Like the same, I thought I was awake, pero yun pala, I was already dreaming. Tapos in my dream, it was like, my teacher was like, Steffi, what's the answer? Steffi, what's the answer? Tapos I was saying, Lucy, like that. Tapos I felt my teacher go like this to me. Tapos I woke up, and tapos she was like, Steffi, what's the answer? Sabi ko, si Lucy. Steffi, we're doing science right now. Like, oh my God. Oh, no. So it was hard. I remember crying to my parents and begging them to send me back to regular school kasi I miss my friends.
Mhm.
I miss playing games during our lunch break, doing all the school activities. And many more. Honestly, sa totoo lang, back then, I thought na this is the worst decision I made. Parang, I hate this. I want to go back.
Yeah.
Because but I knew this was going to help me in reaching my dreams and becoming a professional dancer. So I pushed through all the way until my last days of senior high.
Okay. So when did you go to the US? You mentioned you graduated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In Chicago, right?
Chicago.
Yeah.
So I left for the US 2014. During
Okay.
that time, I was go to the US, fly home. Go to the US, fly home. Pero
Oh.
I permanently stayed in the States starting 2016. If I'm
Okay.
correct. Yes.
Wow.
Like that was the longest na I stayed there. 2016 to 2018. And that's when I started and then that's when I went to that's to Chicago for my dance training.
Okay. So you basically went through a lot of transitions in your life, no?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Different environment, different people, different kinds of training then. So it was a lot of transitioning in my
Right.
school work and in my in my dancing also.
Yeah, I'm very sure from elementary to high school and then going to the US. But you mentioned that when you were homeschooled, you just really pushed for it because you really wanted to pursue your
Yeah.
career in being a professional dancer.
Mhm.
Um, are you happy that you pushed through with it?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Kasi like do I regret my choices? Of
Mhm.
course no. Kasi if I did sa totoo lang, if I didn't push through with homeschool, I don't think I would be a dancer right now. I feel like the balance, I'm the type of person kasi if I can't balance things properly.
Okay.
So if I did regular school, of course I want to honor my parents' wishes na lagi ako honor student. So I think I would have left dance already and quit dance and focus on my studies so I can honor my family and being a honor student. Pero, and I wouldn't be here talking to you guys, to you all right now about my experiences. Kasi homeschool talaga was really a big part in my journey towards being a dancer. So,
Okay. Do you remember what is one experience that you had besides than you falling asleep? well, well, while you were homeschooled, something that you would remember and that you would take with you till you really grow up. Pa. That
I
makes sense,
think
yeah.
discipline. It's the
Discipline.
discipline that for me, I'm so thankful na homeschool gave me this. Kasi you really have to be disciplined also to be a dancer kasi you have to sometimes not everything is given to you have to learn it by yourself. So like in homeschool, not all the time na I had a tutor. During my senior years, it was me na lang. So I had to learn everything on my own. Tas ako pa naman medyo I'm a slow learner. So I have to watch more videos to learn what I'm learning kasi sometimes my materials is not enough. So
Okay.
I had to work, like parang I had to do more work so I can learn. So parang because of homeschool, parang I adapted that discipline in my dancing na sometimes na hindi sapat. Like I learn a lot in class, pero knowing me kasi I'm a perfectionist, I work extra. So I do extra like Pilates classes so I can feel stronger and better. I do strength and conditioning so I can achieve the body that I like, the body that that I want to look good on stage, and also that works for me. So parang the discipline helped me a lot so much.
Wow, these really sound like a professional na talaga. Okay, backstory. I've seen Steffi grow. We used to go to the same church.
Yeah.
Her older sister is my or I think she my batch. We're kind of okay. Anyway, so I've seen Steffi grow into this lady that she is now. Congratulations, by the way. You've
Oh,
been very, very successful in what you do. You're
thank
very,
you.
very talented. I never got to congratulate you on that. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
the discipline, totally agree. I actually kind of miss ballet. I used to dance as well.
Oh, I know
Um,
you dance ballet din eh.
yeah, I did. Same. I started around 4. I stopped for a while when I was 11 or 12, and then I
Mm,
went back around 14, 14, 15. Yeah, so the discipline is number one for both homeschooling and dancing as
you
well.
have parang you have to. It's like oh no, homes. Well, in my program, it was online. I did online
Okay.
schooling before, before pa.
Okay.
That was my program majority of the time. So like I had to work with what I have.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then everybody's gonna go online now, no? But
Yeah.
so what would you give? Like what advice would you give to the students? Okay, there are students now who are going through online learning, or actually a lot of them are gonna be homeschooled by their parents. So, what is one advice that you would want to give to these students?
I think na how do I explain this? Well, for me, I think the beauty about homeschool is time. It's there's no you don't like parang there's no target date. Finish what you can, and what's more important, it gives you time to learn. It gives
Mm,
you time to learn and actually learn what you're doing, like learn what you're reading and understanding. Para you have like parang para your love for what you're aiming for gets deeper, and like parang you have more appreciation to it. Kasi
mm,
that for me that's what homeschool gave me. It's time. Kasi during kasi my schedule in the States, sobrang crazy. As in, I would be dancing like 60 to 70 hours a week. So, wala talaga ako oras for school. Kasi I would, have competitions, I would, have performances at night pa. So, wala talaga akong oras for school. Pero the beauty about it is, I had no pressure in time. Kasi I also took a gap year. So I during my first year as a professional dancer, I wanted to know what my schedule was because I know it's going to be different than in the academy. So I took that gap year, and it felt like na parang shucks, I'm going to take a gap year. I'm going to graduate late. Pero if you know, like parang if this is going to benefit in your dream, then it's okay. For me, like looking at it now especially in the pandemic, it's okay. Like parang kasi everything kasi is on hold.
yeah.
So parang we are not rushing to parang it's just take time to reflect in what you're doing. Especially it's also a great time to reflect in what you want to do in life. Parang looking at this, para when you look at post pandemic, at least during the quarantine, you had self reflection. You're more inspired to
Mhm.
do what you want to do. So guys, take like parang it's okay. It's all new for us kasi it's different than kasi looking at it with online school now during the and homeschool online. It's different eh. It's a different platform, especially for college, because I'm not sure if
Mhm.
there's a online platform in the Philippines na college. I know there is, but it's not
Yeah.
like open for like college students. Pero it's okay. Like it's all new for us.
Mhm.
It's different also. Homeschool and actual like virtual school, it's different. The approach is different. So it's okay. Like it's like parang every time I see my friends go like parang seeing their stressful tweets na parang shocks. Kasi I don't know how to comfort them kasi it's different.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like parang COVID talaga really shows us na new things, pero open to learn, open to try new things. Pero it's okay. Like parang time. Like parang there is time. There's no need to rush. Parang, yeah.
No. enjoy your youth. That's what I tell my sisters.
Yeah. Kasi, what's this? When you like parang yeah, I'm 20, pero looking back now, parang oh my gosh, like I was competing. I was like a competition kid. I would always compete when I was 16. Tapos now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a working dancer na. Like it's so fast. Pero like a lot can happen and a lot can grow in time.
Yeah. Oh wow, Steffi. I'm sorry. I'm pretty surprised because, like I said, I've seen you grow and talking to you like this. You're very. I can see the maturity already. But thank, thank you for sharing, Steffi. Really appreciate it, and I hope to the viewers watching, you learned from this young professional dancer. So catch her, and do you also perform on like live? Do you guys show it on like
Well,
CCTV?
before the pandemic, yeah, we do. Pero
Yeah.
now we're not sure kasi we really want to keep everyone safe. So
Yeah.
nothing really planned yet in
Okay.
performing. I do miss performing though.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
it's one of the things that I really loved about dance talaga. It's performing on stage. Iba yung feeling. So I'm praying talaga na we will get back on stage soon.
Yeah. Same. I would want to see you also perform. I don't think I've ever seen you perform. Well, yeah, like fully perform. Not yung mga sa Christmas parties kind of perform. Yeah. But do you have any shout outs, by the way?
Oh my gosh, I have a lot. Hi mom, hi dad, hi ate. Shout out to these guys. Shout out to my family talaga kasi they've been there since day one. As in, they've been there through the ups and downs. They were with me when I was living in the States. As in, they've seen all the problems, and they also helped me in my homeschool. They were my teachers. So hi
yeah.
mom, hi dad. If ever my teachers are watching, hi. I wouldn't be here without you today, as in big time. And hello to my co-dancers if you're watching. Hi, love you all. You guys always inspire me to to be better, and your talent just amazes me also to dance like you guys.
Oh, and shout out to Kuya Eugene, by the way. That
Hi,
was
Kuya, if you're
yeah.
watching.
If you're watching, hi Kuya
Oh,
Eugene.
girl, I was so
Super small.
shocked na you know Kuya Huge also.
Yeah. So Kuya Yuge and I we were under teacher Tony Lopez Gonzalez.
Hi,
Yeah. Yeah, teacher Tony. So she's pretty the discipline also with her was
yeah.
really crazy. But I also learned a lot from teacher Tony. So I don't know if she's watching, but if ever she does in the future, hi teacher Tony, I miss you so much. But yeah, that's how I know Kuya Yuge. Super small. I think pag mga dancers, medyo small din the community. Not really small, but you all know each other.
It's everyone knows each other in the dance world.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. That was my first guest. Thank you, Steffi, for talking about your experiences.
Thank you for
Yes.
having me. Oh my gosh.
All right, so there. That was my first guest, Steffi Santiago. We have three more. Well, I have three more guests to interview today. So we are going to be right back after these two interviews.
We'll be back shortly, making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, South Manila. Connected ka na ba para laging updated sa mga bagong shows, promos, trending news, viral videos, events, o patok na OPM hits? Just follow us on Facebook at V81 Radio South Manila. Simple lang, itype lang ang letter V81 Radio South Manila. O, di ba madali lang? Kaya i-like at i-follow na. May items ka na gustong ibenta? Or planning to buy something specific? Visit PinoyAds.ph, a free online classified ads na available to all. Post an ad para sa item that you want to sell. Or browse through the listing to find out what you're looking for. Connect with the community to explore, discover, buy and sell. Be the boss of every transaction sa PinoyAds.ph. After this pandemic, let's support the Filipino community. Buy local, Visit Local. Go Local. Para enjoy ang pakikinig sa V81 Radio kahit saan. We are now on your Amazon Echo devices. Just say, Alexa, play V81 Radio at i-enjoy ang inyong mga paboritong Pinoy music 24/7. Sabihin lang, Alexa, play V81 Radio. Are you ready to explore a new kind of music? Yung bang kakaiba na hindi mo pa napapakinggan? Mga bagong artist. Discover them, hear them in Napam Hour. Ang Napam ay ang new all-Pinoy alternative music source na para sa kakaibang musika. Alternative artists and bands all the time. Catch them at Napam Hour. Mondays through Fridays, 12 noon to 1 p.m. and 8 to 9 p.m. Streaming live on V81 Radio mobile app. Kaya i-download mo na for free. Now na! Permant na! Maaga ang pamasko na hatid sa inyo ng Home Not Alone Songs from Home Season 2 ngayong September. Powerhouse OPM artists from Viva Records ang makakakwentuhan at kantahan ni Papa Gio, Janine Tinioso, Marion, Michael Keith, and Joe E. Kaya wag nang magpahuli. Tumutok na every Wednesday at 7 p.m. California time or Thursday 10 a.m. Philippine time. Kasama ang inyong maestro, si Papa Gio sa V81 Radio, Los Angeles. Now back to Making a Difference, only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.
Hi everyone. So now we're back to Making a Difference. If you are just tuning in right now, don't worry, you didn't really miss out on a lot. Oh, by the way, welcome to Making a Difference. So this is a show created to inspire and motivate the youth of today. Again, my name is Erika Mison and I am today's host. So before the break, I interviewed Stephanie Santiago. She is a professional dancer under the Cultural Center of the Philippines. And she was also homeschooled. She went through a lot of transitions in her life, but being homeschooled taught her how to be very, very disciplined in everything that she does. So again, thank you, Steffi or Stephanie, for talking about your experiences. Now we have our second guest. Her name is Jem Magbanwa. She is a visual artist. So can I have Jem on screen? Hi, Jem.
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. A little nervous, but here we are.
You'll be fine. Don't worry. Okay, so tell us something about yourself before we start.
Sure. I was introduced. I'm Jem Magbanwa. I'm 27 years old. I work as a freelance visual artist, graphic designer. I am also an art educator. I teach freshman year of college. I'm a drawing instructor in Southville International Colleges here in the South. I studied in LaSalle College of the Arts in Singapore. That's where I took my BA in Fine Arts. And I was homeschooled from preschool all the way until grade 6. So the first time I entered a regular school was already in high school. Yeah.
Okay. So before we talk about your homeschooling experience, what does a visual artist do? This is actually a personal question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as a visual artist, I create these drawings and paintings, for other artists here, we have quite an eclectic local art scene. So they can do sculpture, they can do video work. Usually we exhibit our works in art galleries. So there are quite a bit of art galleries around here. It can either be local or international. As a visual artist, I've also participated in art residencies. So for about 6 months, I was able to work in Japan as an invited artist to an area there. So they start these programs so that international artists can collaborate with local artists and just create these new programs for the local people in that area. So
Wow. Okay, you've done a lot, actually. Yeah. Oh, by the way, you don't look 27. I thought, I knew you were older than me, but I mean, like, not, you don't look
Not
27.
as
Sorry.
old. Okay,
Just say
I'll take
that.
it. Sure.
Okay.
I like that.
So compared to Steffi, because Steffi started out, she was in regular school and then she was homeschooled. But you,
Mhm.
on the other hand, you were homeschooled, then put into a regular school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your what was your homeschool life like? Like, what was your daily schedule? Do you still recall what you do on a daily basis?
Yeah. So how would I describe it? It was usually there was quite a shift in our schedules. So, the great thing about being homeschooled is that your schedule is allowed to be malleable. It's pretty flexible.
Mm.
So on some days we would be doing certain subjects. Some days would be gardening. Some days we'd be focusing more on like helping around the house and cooking. And
Mm.
then on other days, actually, just like Steffi, I used to dance as well. So a lot of my time would go into dance practice, dance rehearsals, as well as art classes.
Mhm.
So it would change as the days would go on. Yeah.
Right. And how was your transition like from being homeschooled to going to a traditional school? Was it difficult at first?
I guess I would say it was pretty much a culture shock as well,
Mm.
because of all of a sudden you're entering quite a rigid schedule. You have to wake
Mhm.
up early, you have to put on your uniform, you have to go to
Mhm.
school. Classes would strictly be last a certain time. Um, and so, yeah, I would definitely say that I needed a bit of an adjustment to
Yeah.
be able to go ahead with my regular schooling. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the you would say the main difference between like being homeschooled and entering a traditional school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then having to work with the pace of all your peers, right? As opposed to, I guess, being homeschooled, where if you wanted to delve or dive deep into a certain subject, you could. You can spend another hour in it if you didn't understand a certain area. But then, like in school, you guys had to move all together as well.
Mhm.
So I had to do all those catch ups if I was a little slower in certain subjects.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did your parents also teach you when you were homeschooled, or you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. It was my mom doing all the heavy lifting. And so, yeah, like kudos to mom. She was amazing. I know that it was a challenge to be able to
Mhm.
balance my brother and I out. But
Right.
yeah, she was definitely doing a lot of it. The good thing about it also was that we formed a community with other homeschooling moms and homeschoolers. So we would get together one of the weeks, and they would kind of do a tag team where,
Mhm.
so this mom is pretty good at science and math, the other is good at art, and so they would take turns, shift around, and teach the subject. Yeah.
Okay. And then that's where you also met more homeschool kids. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. So we would regularly get together and have these, you know, just hang out, have these basketball clinics, which I was not good at, or dance classes, taekwondo. I mean, they pushed a lot of things for us to
Mhm.
try, like
Yeah.
while we were growing up. So that was pretty fun.
And do
Yeah.
you still talk to the peers, your homeschooling peers, up to
Yes,
this day?
definitely. Those are one of my deep-seated relationships, the
Mm.
ones that I was homeschooled with. I mean, I think you really feel a connection when you get to spend all that time together growing up, and really just having and enjoying learning together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally agree. What is it
Yeah.
like having your mom or your parents homeschooling you? Like, were you fine with it, or was it like some day? Because like, okay, so these hours they're your teachers, and then the next how many hours they're your parents.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you have to shift. Um, I would definitely say I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I loved having them around, like just having my mom and dad around, being able to encourage me, to support me, And I think it's also very fulfilling that my mom was the one who taught me how to read and write. I think I really take pride in that, right? And so she had such an intimate role to play in me cultivating my love for learning. And so I was very thankful for that. We had our hard days for sure. There would be times where there's really friction when you spend almost 24/7 together, right, at home. But again, I don't think you can ever replace the kind of intimacy that is formed through those years of homeschooling.
Yeah, that's actually the main reason why you homeschool your kids from a
Yeah.
parent's perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you
And
always? Sorry, continue.
oh, I just wanted to add, like, I love how they also just emphasized values and principles.
Oh, okay.
When my parents were so big on that, it wasn't about getting high grades. It was like, are you an honest person? Do you treat others well? Are you good? Are you obedient? And so, I love that they emphasized on those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shout out to your parents.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's the main reason of homeschooling your kids. You really get to mold them in the
Mhm.
way you want them to be when they grow
Mhm.
up. Speaking of, did you always wanted to be a visual artist? You always wanted to be
I
visual
think I
art.
was always just drawing. So my
Okay.
mom kind of picked that up when I was about 5 years old. I think she has some
Mhm.
drawings kind of lying around there in the attic. My dad would always take home his scratch paper from the office, and I would just be drawing at home. And what I love about homeschool as well is that it gave me the space and the time and the permission to find out who I was,
Mhm.
be able to develop my passions, my interests. And so from an early age, I remember entering high school and deciding when I was a freshman, when I learned that you have the ability to make money out of doing art, making art, I kind of just made the decision. I want to be an artist. I want to be an illustrator. I want to be a designer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're very talented, by the way. I've seen
Thank
some of your
you.
works, and yeah, congrats
Thank
on
you.
what you've been doing. You've been doing so much, and I
Thank
don't
you
think
so
I ever
much.
congratulated you. Okay. All right. So, you mentioned that you, after high school, you went to university in Singapore. Uh,
Yes.
how
Yeah.
has, would you say that being homeschooled really helped you transition to a regular school and then going to a university in another country? Because that's different. That's a whole different story. So, would you say
Yeah.
homeschooled has helped you really transition all through those years?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely, homeschool really did have a huge part to play in that. So the story behind that is I entered regular school. I was a student from first year to fourth year.
Okay.
So at that time, I've already taken my graduation photo. I was ready to graduate. I had the roster of schools that I picked out here in the Philippines. And then my dad got a job in Singapore. And he gave me the choice, like, do you want to go with us? But that'll mean that you have to just rip your life from the Philippines to Singapore and do high school again, third year to fourth year. So
Oh. Mhm.
that was a huge shift once again in my life, because then that would mean that I would lose all my friends, everything that I've built in my high school years. So, but there was something that was telling me that I can't miss this. So I decided to go. And to be honest, the first year was very depressing, to be honest,
Mhm.
to be away from all the friends that I had here. But again, I think homeschool prepared me for that in a way where you are able to adapt to your environment, as
Mhm.
well as you build your autonomy and your independence, and you are able to pick up from where you left off in that sense. So I feel like homeschool really helped me with that, those years that were quite difficult starting out in Singapore again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that I didn't know. I mean, I knew you moved to Singapore, but
Yeah.
this
7
story.
years in Singapore.
Wow. Okay. And then
Yeah.
now all of you are back here, like your whole family.
Well, it's my dad who's still working there. My mom kind of shifts back and forth. And then
Mhm.
my brother and I decided to start working here
Oh,
in
okay.
the Philippines again.
Okay. Um, all right. So, given that, do you have maybe you could share like an experience that you had when you were homeschooled? I don't know, kahit like a short or like a memory that you would bring or that you would always remember
Hmm.
growing up.
Okay. There are quite a lot.
Go ahead.
But
Feel free to share all. I don't.
I guess one of the things that I always remember is being able to water the garden with my mom. I think that it's very simple, but for some reason it's left a mark on me. And in a way, I've always needed to have plants around me ever since that experience. I really enjoyed that. And, even my dad would kind of dabble into bonsai. And
Mm.
so those are the kinds of things that have left a mark on me, as well as the immense collection of books that we had at home. So a lot of my mornings would also be spent just flipping through encyclopedias during that time where we didn't have access, like the internet wasn't a thing yet. So we'd have to go through each encyclopedia, right, to find
Yeah.
out new information. And so I really just love taking my time in those things, diving deep into a certain subject, learning more, you know, and I was just on my own, like exploring these things, and I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your parents also taught you how to be independent, right? So
Mhm.
when you would do your work, would they just
Mhm.
let you be, or like are they there like right beside you?
Well, sometimes mom would be there with me, especially if it's an introduction to a new subject. But
Yeah.
if I was finishing any seat work or exercises, she would be doing other things around the house. And if I had a question, I would just ask her,
Mhm.
or I would try to find out for myself. So there was definitely that cultivation of independence early on. And I guess it was also my mom pushing me to be responsible with my work and to be okay with the consequences if I didn't do my work. So
Mm.
that was definitely coming into play in her training. You'd have to bear the weight of the consequences if you didn't finish that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's really all on us. We're the students. So
definitely. Yeah.
yeah. So given the chance, okay, and let's say in the future, would you homeschool your kids?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
For sure.
How
I think
why?
my mom really implanted that love for learning and how teaching is a natural process in learning something. So to
Mhm.
be able to fully grasp and understand that subject, you have to share it with someone else.
Mhm.
And I guess like seeing my mom, she modeled it for me. I had that natural yearning to be able to share it with other people. And so I think that's why I not only want to be a visual artist, but that's why I chose to also be an educator, because I really feel like in a way that's a role that all of us have to play one way or another. And I
Mhm.
enjoy it. I genuinely enjoying sharing knowledge with other people. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any advice that you would want to give to those students who are because there are some that are considering, well, some parents they are
Mm,
considering homeschooling their kids, especially now during the
yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
But of course, students are like, no, we still wanna like go to regular school in the future and all that. So do you have any advice for those students?
Students or
Yeah.
parents or both?
Actually, if you have also for parents, that would be great too. Okay, for the
Okay.
students first.
Students first. Okay. Definitely, well, because of the situation now, I think it's a good time to be a little more open to experimenting with different styles as
Yeah.
well. And, you know, homeschooling offers a lot of ways where you can really delve into certain subjects and be able to just get to know yourself better. It allows for that. It carves the space for those things. And so if you are a student now looking into homeschooling, I really encourage you. I know that it does come with certain misconceptions, but I encourage you to talk to other homeschoolers. It's definitely something to look into. For parents, I would really like to encourage them to go ahead and homeschool if your situation, your financial situation allows. Just because the level of intimacy, again, I love going back to this, the intimacy that you form with your kids, I feel is unmatched, especially when you yourself are teaching and spending time with them at home and being able to share knowledge with them, because your role as influencer in their lives only lasts to a certain phase. When they hit the teenage years, when they start going into college, you know, their focus kind of fades away from their parents, right? And so you only have that window really to be able to influence and be able to really spend time with your child. Yeah.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
We would all hear this, actually. I'm very sure you would hear this question.
Uh-huh.
To those viewers who are kind of curious, well, parents would ask, wouldn't the kids have a hard time making friends? Or because they think that, okay, you're
I always
homeschooled,
hear that.
you're just inside, you're just at home. Right, okay, I know you
Right.
get that question a
Like
lot.
my kid would be awkward if I was home, if I would homeschool them, right? But
Yeah.
again, I think that's where the extra work comes in, though, into cultivating a community. And I think there are lots of programs now, especially now that homeschooling has become more and more popular. There
Yeah.
are huge communities in different areas of the Philippines where you can easily meet with other people, with other kids, and form friends, just like any regular school. And what I loved about homeschool also is that we were not just confined to our age group, just relating to other age groups. We were also relating to our parents' friends. We were taught to converse with them. We were also taught to converse with kids that are slightly older, slightly younger. And so having that holistic experience was really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I feel like we know people more just because we're like that also. My family and I would recall my parents bringing us to, let's say, meetings, or if they're gonna meet with their friends, and you get
Right.
to talk.
We'd always have to tag along, right? So you end up kind of picking up on how their conversations go. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of practical things that you absorb just by homeschooling and being with your parents. Yeah,
You learn a lot. You really do.
definitely.
Okay. All right. We have a question here for you.
Sure.
To Jem, what was your favorite subject and why?
What was my favorite subject?
Yeah.
That was hard. Well, I didn't like math. That's what I know. But I absolutely loved writing, reading, and art
Yeah.
and history. Yeah, those four. It's hard to say which one was really my favorite, but those four.
Okay. Why those four?
I guess I just had a natural knack in it as well. And I loved putting words together that flowed and was poetic and was able to communicate effectively. I loved seeing those things come into play. And with history, I just loved looking back and how all those events kind of culminated to what is going on now.
Right.
So I love always looking back in our past. Yeah.
That's nice. I actually, did I like history? I guess. I don't know if I have. All right. Okay. So, do you have any shout outs, by the way?
Um, Shout out to mom, definitely. I think she's watching over here. Hi, mom. I love you. Thank you so much for all that you've done. You're finally seeing the result of all the hard work that you've been doing.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
shout out to dad, who's still in Singapore. And we haven't been able to see him because of the pandemic. So love you and miss you. And then hi, Josh. And shout out to my fiance. Who's also
Congrats
watching.
again. Sorry, I
Thank
got there.
Yeah.
See, okay. She's doing fine. She was homeschooled. She went to Singapore, and now she's a teacher. And now she's engaged. So you don't
Yeah.
really have the parents out there
Good. We're good.
We don't really have a
Thank God.
problem. Jem
Yeah.
turned out very, very fine.
I would
Okay,
like to hope so.
thank you so much, Jem, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
homeschool experience. I hope you enjoyed talking about it as much as I
Yep.
did. And I hope to see you
Had fun
soon.
conversing. Yes.
Yeah. So take care. I'll see you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right. So that was Jem. Another friend of mine. Well, we also go to the same church. So there you go. Another previous homeschooler who shared her experience and how homeschooling has helped her transition in her life. So we are gonna go on another break, and then when we come back, we are gonna be interviewing actually brothers. So you wouldn't want to miss this. Stay put and do not leave your seats. I'll see you guys in a bit.
We'll be back shortly, making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, South Manila. Are you ready to explore a new kind of music? Yung bang kakaiba na hindi mo pa napapakinggan? Mga bagong artist. Discover them, hear them in Napalm Hour. Ang Napalm ay ang new all-Pinoy alternative music source na para sa kakaibang musika. Alternative artists and bands all the time. Catch them at Napalm Hour. Mondays through Fridays, 12 noon to 1 p.m. and 8 to 9 p.m. Streaming live on V81 Radio mobile app. Kaya i-download mo na for free. Now na! Permant na! Maaga ang pamasko na hatid sa inyo ng Home Not Alone Songs from Home Season 2 ngayong September. Powerhouse Opium artists from Viva Records ang makakakwentuhan at kantahan ni Papa Gio, Janine Tinioso, Marion, Michael Keith, and Joe E. Kaya wag nang magpahuli. Tumutok na every Wednesday at 7 p.m. California time or Thursday 10 a.m. Philippine time. Kasama ang inyong maestro, si Papa Gio sa V81 Radio, Los Angeles. Now back to Making a Difference, only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.
Now we are back. Welcome to Making a Difference. Today's episode, I decided to interview previous homeschoolers because nowadays parents are considering homeschooling their kids. A lot of students also, of course, sabi ng parents, they're considering homeschooling. So I wanted to share what's it like being homeschooled. That's the biggest question actually. Will my kid turn out to be okay? As a student, will I be able to learn a lot? Will I be able to enter the university that I want to enter? And so far, we've interviewed two ladies. They've shared their experiences and how it has helped them with their careers today. So now for my last two guests, I have two brothers here with me, Ian and Dan Galman. So they were also previously homeschooled. Hi, Ian and Dan.
Good afternoon, Erika. Good afternoon.
You guys look like, oh sorry, yeah, you guys look like twins. But they don't look like my sisters at all. Okay, so who's Ian, who's Dan?
So I'm Ian, and that I'm the youngest.
Oh, you're the young. Yun, I was gonna ask you, who is the oldest, who's the youngest?
But
So
he
it's
was
just-
actually the tallest.
Ay, no, di ba ganun naman talaga, pag bunso, sila yung matangkad. I'm panganay, so I would know. I feel you, Ian. I feel you. Okay, sige. So, maybe you guys could give us a background, what you guys do now also.
So yeah, basically both of us were homeschooled from grade 1 up to high school, and then we went to the same college, same course, same year, because he competed in SEA Games last 2015. So we sort of stopped studying for a while, 2 years.
Yes. So we were in college at the same time. So
Yeah.
for 2 years. That's why.
Graduated at the same time, and
And yeah, so basically we are actually classmates ever since we were in our first grade.
Yeah.
And up until college, we still ended up as classmates and there.
And right now, I sort of resigned from my job because I'm gonna go back to school again this coming semester. And
I'm currently a part of Trinity University of Asia Senior High School faculty. So trying to spread the homeschooling culture through teaching other
Yeah.
students as well. So yeah.
I have so much questions for you guys. Okay, so Sea Games. What did you compete in?
Mm. I was favored to be a part of the floorball, Philippine floorball national team. So it's a new sport. Yes, it's
Yeah.
similar to indoor hockey, somewhat similar, but we play indoors. And yeah, I was favored to be a part of the Philippine team last 2015.
Congrats, by the way. You that was in what country pala?
It was in Singapore.
Singapore. Okay. Galing. Congrats for making the team.
Thank you. It was all because of homeschooling, the free time that you get from homeschooling, and the hard work that will be actually inculcated to you because of homeschooling as well. So, yay for homeschooling.
Okay, so what was your schedule like when you guys were homeschooled? Like, do you remember your daily routine?
actually, it's just like what the other guests have told you. It's very flexible. Like there came a time where we would start early, but there came a time that we wouldn't because we had to go to the province, we had to go somewhere. So yeah, basically you don't have a fixed routine, but definitely you have goals set weekly or maybe daily. That of course you have to finish within your set deadline.
Yes, and I think that's one of the best things that you can develop when you do homeschooling is that you become responsible to finish the task. Whether within that day you need to finish these certain tasks. So that was our schedule.
Okay.
Non-existent. But with goals naman.
Yeah. At least nga, I forgot to mention this to my other guests, but all of, well, yeah, all of you guys have siblings. So, and kayo, at least you weren't really alone while being homeschooled. Ano ba, may kulitan days ba kayo? Or do you really study together or like right beside each other or hiwalay kayo? How did that go?
Actually, yeah, my dad, our dad,
My dad.
our dad, our dad like built his built this study table for us. Just outside our
So
house.
yeah, so we were sitting beside each other, but the
Okay.
funny thing is we had different body clocks and time schedule. He's more of a night person, and I am more morning person.
Yeah, so around high school, we sort of developed our own schedule, and we really didn't have the same study
Yes, study schedule.
schedule anymore.
But yeah, I actually get a lot of help from him. He's the more intelligent one. So
Okay. So your mom was the one who taught you.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
all throughout.
How was that? How was that like? Like, kasi nga, a while ago, na-mention ko kay Jem, these few hours, she's your teacher. Then the next, all throughout the day, she's your mom. So,
Yeah.
what was it? What was it like?
Just like what Jem said a while ago, like it's not just about the academics. It's really about the values, the responsibility they try to instill on you. It's really about forming not just your academic knowledge but also your character when you go out in the real world. So yeah, both my dad and my mom really, I mean,
Hour.
really did, for me, they really did a great job at like preparing us for our future.
Yeah, and it was like my mom would be doing, of course, household work, household chores, and she'd be monitoring us doing our own task. And when it when time came wherein our dad needed to teach us, he would bring us to his office. So it was that type of learning situation wherein it's flexible. And yes, I agree with Miss Jem, right?
Yeah.
Mom Jem, that you really get to interact with a lot of people in different age groups. So that was our study setup with our mom and dad.
But
Yeah, we would be learning within their own environments.
but in
Yeah.
high school, I just want to mention this. We sort of developed our own studying skills. So during elementary, our mom was really focused on teaching us the basic subjects, arithmetic, reading, and
And
writing. But when it
Right.
came to high school, we sort of developed our own studying skills where we had the internet naman that
yeah,
time.
we didn't
So
depend on them that much because they were, of course, when you grow up, things change.
they become busy.
The expenses, diba? So they needed to focus on work. So yeah, they instilled this work ethic naman. So that was a transition. During our younger years, they were hands on, very hands on. And then when it came to the adolescent stages, medyo they ano na.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, like at the end of the day, we would just ask really the questions that we couldn't understand or find the answer to.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So, going back pala to the SEA Games. So, how old were you at that time, Ian, when you
Oh,
competed?
that was in
Ay,
2015.
magkakaalaman naman ng age dito.
19.
Yes, around 18, 19 years old.
18. Okay. Okay. And how was it? I mean, I'm sure you were training, no, before, of
Hmm.
course, going to Singapore. So, how was the balance with homeschool and training? What was your schedule like? I'm very sure iba yung schedule mo compared to
Yes.
that, no?
It was very similar to what Miss Steffi shared, wherein you really don't have any time to do uh, other things aside from train, recover, train, recover. So
Yeah.
my schedule would be once or twice a week. I'd be doing some of the modules, some of the lessons. So, but yeah, homeschooling really helped because I was behind in some of the subjects. But again, homeschooling is gives you the opportunity to get back and catch up to those subjects. So that's what happened. I focused for 2 years, for 2 years or at least a year. I don't know. I focused on the developing and training side, and
Okay.
then I stopped studying like the serious studying for a bit. Like I was answering like one or two modules lang or only three subjects only. But then after the SEA Games, nakapag-catch up naman after that.
Okay. I see. And like, how about you naman, Dan? So while your brother was training, ikaw naman, what was your schedule like? Medyo, what's that right term? Because I would
Yeah.
remember my sisters wherever I would go, kasama din sila. So, ganun din ba kayo?
Well, I was
Or,
left at home doing chores, I guess. No, no. Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I guess we're sort of like different naman. Like he's more outgoing and I'm more of a homebody. So I read books, nerd. So
okay.
yeah, I was
I
into
can see.
novels and at the same time I really got into studying academic subjects. I enjoyed my time in high school. Yeah. I hate to admit that, pero
Oh,
I,
okay.
yeah, basically I was busy doing academic subjects while he was doing
Okay.
and
Mm-mm.
art. I did a bit of art.
Okay. Kasi I remember, because I mentioned earlier in the show that I also used to dance.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I would dance 3 times a week, 3 to 5 hours, 3 to 6 hours a day, depending on the schedule. And before, I would remember my sisters, they're here pala. One of them is here with me. They would go, the whole family would go, and parang they would wait for
Mhm.
me, but they would bring their books. with them.
Nice.
So nag-aaral. So sila nagpauso, yung nag-aaral sa Starbucks. Yan.
Oh.
Sila yun. So that's what I wanted to know. Baka same din kayo as siblings.
Yeah. Also in our homeschool group, well, we were part of a lot of homeschool groups like growing up. We had like hangouts, group studies, extracurriculars, overnights, camp. So yeah, we had those too. So
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think that
difference.
was during our younger years. Pero when it came to, say, during our adolescent stage, the 15, 16 years old, we became more independent. And yeah, I was really outside our house a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ano yung mga favorite subjects niyo? Or subjects?
Subject.
Wala. I
Who's gonna go first?
di ba?
I really like English and math.
English and math?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good. Kasi do you know that saying na parang I think only a person can only either be good in English or in math.
Well, I wasn't
So
good in math, but,
Oh.
but, but I sort of like the feeling of getting the correct answers.
Ah.
I mean, like, English and math, they're both languages. Eh. English is language of words, the math is language of numbers. I sound so nerdy right now, pero I swear.
Okay, that's naman.
Like,
How about you, Ian? Any favorite subject?
I think English and math, they're both are my favorite subjects, but disclaimer, not good at any of them. I just developed it. Yes. The
So is
favorite,
favorite lang. They don't have to like us back.
So Ian, you are a teacher now, no? Senior high school. Do you actually teach English and math?
yes, I am actually an English teacher, so I
Not
teach not math, English.
Okay. English lang.
Math is nosebleed.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that.
Bring me back.
Yeah. Okay. So now college naman. You were both I was surprised to hear that you entered the same time, but okay, now it makes sense kasi si Ian had to compete sa SEA Games. So how was the transition like from being homeschooled? Okay, so kayo naman, you were homeschooled throughout all throughout. Kasi si Stephanie and si Jem, si Stephanie, she was only homeschooled mga high school. Si Jem naman, elementary. But both of you, throughout elementary and high school, homeschooled kayo. How was the transition like from being homeschooled all those years to entering college?
Well, like, we just want to get this straight. Na the biggest misconceptions about homeschoolers that, di ba you're homeschooled, then the biggest misconception about us is that we don't have social lives. So when it comes to that aspect, really didn't have a hard time. Pero personally, just like Jem then, I had a hard time like sticking to a schedule.
Yeah.
Like especially 7 a.m. classes.
I don't wake up 7 a.m.
That's like the biggest challenge that I experienced transitioning from homeschool to regular school.
Yeah, I think it's also the same with me. Again, for those who are watching, the biggest misconception in homeschooling is it's not true that you won't have any social life. You can see all the guests, diba? And our host, diba, Miss Erika. We love socializing.
Yeah, 'cause we meet with
Yes.
other homeschoolers, right?
Diba?
Yeah.
The biggest transition was really the schedule. First year, I remember this. First year, first class was at 7:30 a.m. So we had to wake up at 6 a.m. and it was one of the biggest adjustments because in in our schedule before, we wake up actually anytime we want to. So yeah, it's sticking to that schedule. And then after the 7:30 a.m. class, there's like not really much of a breather when it comes to the next subject. It's going to be 7:30 to 9. Then there will be another subject. So I think that's the transition. We needed to adapt to para adjusting how we rest how we rest our brains.
Also, if I may add to another adjustment, like when it comes to homeschool, you had a learning style and you had a teacher, right? And your teacher is your parents, right? Although sometimes our teachers can be like other homeschool moms. We had that, but basically, when it came to college, you have to adjust yourself to the teaching style of the professor.
Yes.
And in homeschool, you sort of develop, ano ba? Like in homeschooling, like it's very
Yeah, I think
personal.
it's
That's the
yes,
word.
yes. We personalize learning in homeschooling, and that's what I actually try to give my students. Wherein I try to personalize my style to them, because in homeschooling, you cater to your own style of learning. If you're auditory or visual, you can make use of that. But in college, yes, one of the biggest adjustments is, what if the professor only engages the auditory style or auditory learning?
What if they don't teach at all? Diba?
Yes. You have to
What if the professors don't teach at all? So you have to,
yeah,
there are a lot of adjustments when it comes to the schedule and the teaching style of the professors you're gonna have.
But then, you were able to adapt naman eventually. Yeah.
the biggest again, the awesome thing about homeschooling is really it builds your work ethic, character and work ethic, right? It's very evident naman with everyone, and that's the important thing in any situation you're placed, whether in regular school or in the professional world already. The most important thing is you have an established work ethic, and you established a positive character, and you can adjust to anything, you can adapt to any situation. So
Yeah. Totally agree. You can put us in a room full of strangers. We'll be fine. We're gonna survive. Right there. See? Okay. So, did you guys take up the same college course pala?
Yeah. Actually,
See?
so
What, what
I
course?
Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English. He used to major in PE
yes,
since he was in the sports field.
I tried PE
Okay.
in school, then idol ko siya. Yun, so I joined him in English, BSED major.
Okay. Bakit? Na-miss mo ba si Dan masyado?
Yeah, I actually told him this. When we were in our fourth year, I don't know. It was one night. I really got emotional. I got so used to him being around, and even if I'm the kuya, he's actually more of the leader type and the much more responsible type. And it's true, diba? He's much more responsible. So I realized parang it was the last sem na natin, no? Parang it was our last sem, and hala, I'm going to miss working with this person. There will be no, even my workmates now. Sorry po for those who are watching. There will be no other replacement for him, kasi we've been so used to together, studying together, working together ever since we were homeschooled, doing certain projects together, even in college. And that's one of the biggest adjustment naman in life right now. It's
Naiiyak naman ako sa'yo. Wait.
Although during college he was like sort of out there at the school. Like he had tons of extracurriculars. So really we had like different social groups that time. But at the same time we had major subjects since we had the same course. Yeah. So we worked together. But at the same time we also experienced, working with other people, which I think really developed ourselves.
helped us grow.
Together and apart, it helped us grow.
No, wait lang. I'm actually a softie ha. Pag umiyak ako, I'm so sorry. But anyway, that's really sweet naman. That's also one of the beauty of homeschooling, no? When you have siblings. By the way, is it just the both of you lang, or do you have a younger brother? It's really the both of you. Okay. So,
Or if our parents are watching, we'd like a baby sister.
Yes, a baby
really?
sister.
Want pa? You want ako? Ayoko na eh.
I mean,
Yeah, I told my parents. I said, I already have two younger sisters. No muna. They're also watching now, for sure. Natatawa na sila sa akin. Okay. So, ayun. Another curious question. This is from me. So you went to the same university, took the same classes. What would the professor say to the both of you?
They would first say, "Why aren't you sitting next to each other?"
Yes.
Grabe na.
Because ano ba? We had different
Different set of friends. Different set of friends.
Okay.
Then, di ba?
So yeah, when our profs would tell us, your brothers, you have the same surname. But yeah, ano ba?
And I think one of the things is whenever we would be grouped together, I think they would find it unfair. No, sometimes they would find it unfair.
I guess.
I feel like, oh.
Yes, because I can relax and he'd be doing all the work. So, hitting two birds in one stone.
Grabe. Kuya na kuya. Kuya na kuya.
Can you relate? No, joke.
Really? I know. Okay, so I don't know if these two would mention this, but of course I know this. They graduated with honors. Magna and Summa. Am I correct?
Fortunately.
And for who graduated Magna? Who graduated Summa? Ano?
Yeah.
He graduated Summa. I graduated Magna.
Huwag na kayo mahiya. That's something to take pride in. Siyempre, homeschool, di ba? Itayo ang bandera. Yeah, that's the term. That's the term.
Yeah.
Homeschool. So again, to those parents who are watching, see, they graduated with honors. So if they can do it, your
And you know
kids.
what? Like there are also our other homeschool peers also graduated with honors. Like it's not uncommon, really.
Wow.
Then some I know are from Peñal also. Like in college, they're doing well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So parents, not really
Okay.
all bad.
Yeah.
It's actually beautiful. There's actually a beauty in homeschooling.
Yeah.
A lot of
Very-
fun.
You get to develop like their academic side, but if they focus on dancing, if they focus on arts, music, like he was into sports, you get to find who
Who
you're
you really
gonna-
are, yes, who
Yeah.
you really are and what you want to do. That's one of the awesome things of being homeschooled. If you want to focus on academics, yes, you can. If you want to focus on extracurriculars, you can as well. And because of the time, diba? Because of the time, the free time that is given to you that you can actually use, you get to, somewhat, hindi pala somewhat, you really get to excel and be good in your chosen path.
Speaking of chosen paths, so you both took different routes. Si Ian is now a teacher. Did you always want to become a teacher? Like, was that really your goal?
It was never my I think it never came to me that I wanted to teach, but just like him, I never saw myself, sorry I don't, I never saw myself apart from doing handling kids. I used to handle a club before, a sports club. And I think that carried over up until college, where I want to spread the positive things that homeschooling gave to me, or what I experienced in homeschooling. And I try my best to actually spread that or give that to my students right now. The warmth of homeschooling.
Yeah. Okay, so then that's Ian. And then okay lang. And then we also have naman. So si Dan naman took his path. You mentioned that you just resigned, no, from your previous job. What was your previous job?
I used to work as an associate editor for a publishing company.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna study again because the real life is not too
He's
much.
pursuing law. He got accepted.
Congratulations. So
Yes.
where are you gonna go?
UP, UP law. Yes.
Wow. Congrats
Thank
on that.
you.
See,
Thank you.
again, to the parents watching, you got magna cum laude and summa cum laude graduates, tapos one is a teacher and then one is gonna be a law student. Your kids are gonna be perfectly fine.
Yes, your kids are going to be
Hopefully.
Okay,
We'll
so
get
question for the both of you.
there.
How has homeschooling helped you become the person you are today? How has it helped you with your career paths? Okay, so since Dan is there,
Carry
you
mo.
muna Dan.
Well, homeschooling has definitely helped me personally because just like what you mentioned, like when you're homeschooled, you get to develop your character, your values, and you get to sort of find yourself or and what you really want to do with yourself. Like you get to find your passion, if it's academic or arts. Oh my god.
I'm so sorry.
So yeah,
Not,
homeschooling helped through
it's okay.
developing our character and what really you want to do. Just carry Ivan.
Yeah.
Carrying our
Okay.
dog.
And then, okay, that's okay. Hello, uh, Ian and Dad's dog. Okay. Baka siya, ano, he or she ba yan? Girl or boy? Your
It's
dog.
a he.
Yes, it's Ivan.
Oh. Hi, Ivan. Maybe Ivan wants to join also the
Yeah.
talk. Okay. So,
What was the question?
okay. So for, yun. So we were just talking about how has homeschool helped you with your career today,
Mm.
like, with what you're
Um,
doing. So ikaw naman.
Yun, homeschooling for me, it really gave me such a positive experience in terms of uh, it helped me develop who I want to be and what I want to do. And in homeschooling, the teaching style, the teaching learning style in homeschooling is really, you need to adjust or you can actually learn in multiple ways depending on where you really excel or the strength of your learning style. So now that I'm actually teaching, I try to incorporate that. I do my best to incorporate that. That it's not going to be the same classroom setup that we're going to have. I'm going to try my best to actually adjust to the needs of the student. And I hope to those students who are watching this, kung love niyo ako, yeah. Ayan po. So, I actually see the positive impact of that because we know that students are actually talented. There is no ano ba, parang weak student
Yeah,
or
there's
parang
no walang bobo.
yun, that's the
No
term.
one is stupid. Like you just have to find where they're gonna be
Good
good at.
at. And homeschooling gave me that experience. So it really helped me in my career in such a way that I am actually able to reach the students in that kind of way. The homeschooling type of way. I may be teaching in the regular school setup, but the instruction, the methodologies, the strategies that I'm actually trying to do is, of course, also how what I experience in homeschool. Yeah.
That's really nice to hear. You really it comes to show that homeschooling is actually really effective because you get to bring it, you whatever you learn throughout your years, you're actually bringing it to what you're doing today. And congrats, by the way, to the both of you with your careers. You guys are excelling. Um, okay, so any advice that you would want to give to those students who are parang, I don't want to be homeschooled kasi boring, lagi yung nasa bahay. Or also to the parents if you also have.
Yeah.
What advice would you give?
I guess for me, the advice I'm gonna give is homeschooling is not for everyone. I guess you know if they're gonna grow in regular school, then send them to regular school. This is both for students and parents. And if they're gonna excel in homeschooling, if they wanna try it out, and if they think this will work for them, they can try it out. And if it does, then that's good. But if it doesn't, there are a lot of ways of learning. Naman. So I guess my advice for the ones who are saying it's boring or it's not for them, well, respect those who think that homeschooling is for them.
Yeah. For
That
me
makes
naman,
sense.
for me naman, yes, they have the choice if they would want to be homeschooled or not. But for me, my advice would be this: especially in our current generation, current
Mhm.
time, current situation, I would really advise them to, remember, I don't know if it's a verse, no, or a saying or a verse, that you need to train up a child in the way that they should
It's a
go.
verse,
It's a
Bible
verse.
verse. Mhm.
So you need to start them young. In order to start them young and inculcate the work ethic that you want your child to have, the actually positive character that they want to have, start them as homeschoolers. For me, during their primary years, build them up, and when they reach to that point, when they are in that stage wherein they would reach adolescence, let them decide. Would they want to pursue regular school, or would they want to stick to homeschooling? And that is what our mom and dad did,
Yeah.
and we really appreciated that. So yeah, that would be my advice, especially when your child is young now.
Mhm.
If you want really to develop a certain character in them, yeah, start homeschooling them. And again, in homeschooling po, we have classmates, homeschool mates. So there is social
Yeah, we
interaction.
get to see each other like once a week, twice a week, or.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, I think I want to add na lang, as parents, sort of, they are teachers, diba, from the start. Like indirectly or directly, they are actually schooling all their children. So in one way or another, the children are shaped by the parents,
Yeah.
whether they're homeschooled or not. So that's one thing parents should take.
and I think sorry. This is the last.
Good.
I would want to add. Again, homeschooling doesn't, if you're thinking na hala, so is this homeschool versus regular school? No. Homeschooling is present. We may not just define it, but simply telling your children what to do, or the bad things and the good things. That's one form of homeschooling. So homeschooling is present anytime, everywhere, diba? It's present in your kids, your parents. So it's present. So it's just adding academics to that way of schooling your children inside your. So yeah, so it's not homeschooling versus regular schools. Better is better. No, it's not something
No.
like that.
Find
Right.
what's for you.
Yep. Agree. One last question. If you were given the chance to homeschool your kids in the future, would you?
Yeah, just like what he
Yeah.
said, like teach your child when they're young the basics.
Yeah.
And then once they're forming their own personality, try to introduce them to regular school. Do they want to pursue homeschooling? Do they want to go to regular school? It's about finding their personal learning style
Learning style.
where they would excel.
Yes, I would definitely homeschool my child. I would make a hell of a musician in him or her. Joke lang.
Wow, fun.
Yun yung goal.
Yun yung
But
talaga yung goal eh.
I would homeschool my child, and then yeah, I would let him or her decide in the future. Same with his answer.
Nice answer. Okay, any shout outs that you want to give?
You go first.
Of course, our parents, they're in Davao right now.
We miss
Oh.
you.
Yeah, they're locked down in Davao. So, yeah. Hi, ma, hi, pa. And then, if Tita Irma is watching, thank you for
Thank
introducing
you.
us to Miss Erika. Yeah, I really had fun. And then, to my friends, di ba? I have friends.
Yes.
In case some of my friends are watching, miss you guys.
Shout out, of course, again, yeah, to my parents, mommy, daddy. We miss you and we love you. Hope you're watching, and we know you're watching. To my partner, hi Aura, ingat ka sa biyahe mo. She's a frontliner. I love you. And of course, to my students who are actually watching, hi, and shout out to Senior I, the senior high school publication of our department. Hi, thank you for watching. Sasha, I appreciate your comments. Hi.
Cute naman. Oh, syempre, proud na proud sila, no? To watch you. Oh nga, may mga nakita kong comments.
I
Yes.
add ko lang po to our former professors, Sir Julius, Sir Wen. Again, thank you so much for the
Yeah.
support. And Ma'am Sarao, Ma'am Capacete, we love you po and we miss you. They are our second parents naman in our school. They never judged us. They helped us grow talaga. especially ako rin po in my teaching career. They're my mentors. Hi po.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you so much, Ian and Dan, for coming to the show today and talking about your homeschooling experience. I hope to meet you guys.
Oh, yes.
Soon. Okay,
Homeschool.
funny story. We us three, including Steffi also, we went to the same school. We were enrolled under the same school, that is Pinyal Integrated Christian Academy. But I think we were different batches. I think I'm not so sure. I graduated 2013.
Oh,
Oh, I think higher
And
bat.
you are higher batch, or I am.
You're in the same batch, pero since he took a gap,
Okay.
he took gap years.
Yes, I'm.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. So then, but then we never saw each other. How do I say this? Yeah. Yeah.
I think you mentioned you're from Alabang, right?
Yes. They're
Yeah.
from.
The homeschool group we met with, I think we're all from.
It was in Quezon City.
We're all from Quezon
We're all
City.
from Quezon
Yeah,
City.
there you go. Oo. So, ayun. Sobrang north naman sila. We are at the opposite ends of the world.
Yes.
So, ayun. But it's really nice. Very refreshing to talk to homeschoolers.
Yes,
So,
actually.
diba? Thank
It's
you
really
guys so much. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye, Ian. Bye,
Thank
Dan.
you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Okay, so there you go. Those are my last two guests for today, Ian and Dan Galman. So brothers who were homeschooled throughout their elementary and high school years, and you could see actually everyone, all my guests today, you could really see how homeschooling really it made an impact in their lives, especially with what they're doing today. And if I may share, I don't know if you guys got the hint, but I was homeschooled too. Same with the Galman brothers. I was homeschooled after grade one, because I went to regular school first, nursery and kinder, then grade one, and then after grade one up until high school, I graduated high school. I was homeschooled again under Pinyal Integrated Christian Academy, and they were sharing their experiences, and while they were sharing it, it was I would have flashbacks. Again, homeschooling is not only about the academics. It's really not. It's what Ian mentioned a while ago. You for the parents, you really if homeschooling gives you that opportunity to really mold your kids the way you want them to be when they grow up. And also for the students, you get to learn outside the classroom. So homeschooling is learning beyond the four walls of the classroom. I remember there were days where when I was younger, we would go to the grocery, and I remember our parents just teaching us, okay, so this is how you check if the vegetables are okay. So that would be incorporating science. And then computing the prices, that would be incorporating math. And then talking to the sales lady, probably incorporating English or your personal relation skills. So it's really, homeschooling is really beyond, it's learning beyond all the four walls of the classroom. And I would like to give a shout out to my parents. A lot of all my guests here today really thank their parents, and I would also like to thank my parents for making the decision to homeschool me and my sisters. We've learned a lot from the both of you, both my mom and my dad. My mom was our main teacher. My dad was the principal and substitute teacher. Siya po yung sa science and some math. Speaking of math, I would also like to thank Matthew C. Philippines. So this is a curriculum that I used growing up. We all know math is the most difficult subject. It's either math or science. So Matthew C. has really helped me, has helped my sisters, really how do I say this? How do I put it? Explore math beyond pa. It made math easier for us to understand. So for those who are considering homeschooling their kids, you can check out Matthew C. Philippines. And I don't think I finished my thank you. But anyways, I would like to thank you again to my parents for really molding me, molding my sisters. If it weren't for being homeschooled, I don't think I'd even have this radio show. They were the ones who made me who I am today, and I owe so much to my parents. But yeah, thank you to both my mom and my dad, and also to Teacher Au. She is the owner slash principal of Pinyal Integrated Christian Academy. So she has also played an important role in our lives, actually, my whole family. She really helped us with homeschooling. She helped my parents. She gave advice to them. And then she also helped me. I remember she helped me with my and not entrance exam, my applications. There you go. For universities and colleges. So yeah, has played a very very big role in our lives. So shout out to Teacher Au and the faculty, of course, of Pinyel. Um, if you're watching this, hi everyone, and I hope to see you guys again really soon. But yeah, so just to end on this note, to those parents who are still deciding if they should homeschool their kids, I believe that it is a very good decision for your kids. I know being a parent it's not an easy job, and you're always looking out for your kids. So homeschooling them is one of the best ways to really nurture them, to really look out for them, especially at a young age. So you can really mold them and teach them how you want them to be when they grow up. Now, for those students who don't want to be homeschooled, been there. I've been there. There was a time that I've also wanted to go to regular school, but you know what? As I grew up, it really opened my eyes, and I really saw na okay, wow. You get to learn more when you're homeschooled. Like what Jem mentioned a while ago, you get to spend so much time more, let's say with science. If you're really interested in it, you have that so much time, all the time in the world to do it. You learn more. Don't worry about your social life. Look at us. We're very, very talkative, even if we haven't seen each other in person. We have friends who are also homeschooled, and they are still our dearest friends because we grew up with them. And you don't have to worry about adjusting. Yes, agree ako with the Galman brothers. I also had the hard time waking up early, but again, homeschooling teaches you how to adapt to these situations. So I suggest you try it out. If I were given a chance to homeschool my kids, I would. I definitely would. I would probably ask help from my mom. She knows this. Because props to her. She taught both my sisters how to read and write. So really, I think I would have her help me. But then there. So I hope all of you learned a lot from this episode. Again, I decided to do this episode. It's very timely because we're all going through the same thing. We're all trying to adjust to the new normal. So I hope this episode has helped the viewers make a decision. So before I end the show, okay, sorry. I see all the comment. Well, I saw all your comments, so I just want to say hi to everyone who watched today. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to my best friend Trish. I saw your comment. Thanks for always supporting me. And of course to my family, always watching me 24/7. All right, so we have a couple more shows later on today on V81 Radio. We have Madame Venus at 6 p.m. and to end your Saturday night, is Rainbow Society at 9 p.m. And then tomorrow, we also have more shows. We have Startup Nation. In the morning, we have Talk Shop Asia. We have Napalm. who just really, this is the first time I saw their commercial a while ago. And shout out to Sir Charlie. He was watching a while ago. Hi, Sir Charlie. Hope you're doing okay. And we have also, of course, Let's Chat with Tita Gracie. And to end your Sunday nights, we have Musta Pops. And I'd like to say that we are growing. The V81 Radio family is growing. We're going to have more shows, and I'm super excited for that. So please don't forget to follow us on Facebook. That is V81 Radio. We are also on Instagram. We're also on Twitter. And we have our own website and our YouTube channel. And please, please, please don't forget to follow Making a Difference on Facebook. If you have any comments or suggestions, if you want to make chica, go ahead, send me a message on the Facebook page. I would actually personally reply. And what else? Yeah, so that's about it for today. Just a friendly reminder. Please, when you have to go out, please don't forget to wear your face masks. And just recently, they implemented face shields. So please don't forget to do that. Practice social distancing, and of course, proper hygiene. And yeah, just stay safe, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And I will see you all next week. God bless everyone. Bye.
The program for the millennials that will showcase young professionals' worth, aspirations, and successes in doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Making a difference. Making a difference. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erika Mison. Together with her cool millennials, they will be making a difference. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. Philippine time. Only here on V81 Radio. South Manila. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy, your all hits, all Pinoy digital radio station in South Manila. This is V81 Radio.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo.